Hey there, thank you for stopping by. Got another really cool video in the works here for you. Now, if you're into long range shooting and you saw the title of this and you're intrigued, stick around. Long range shooting without a dope card. How's it possible? So let's jump right into it. It's a concept called speed drop factor. Now, this is something that Accuracy First created with the purpose of engaging targets at distance fairly rapidly. It's going to allow you to remember one number in your mil scope and use that for your holds versus trying to remember dope all the way out at multiple distances. Now, it's for rapid engagements. It's not the most precise solution in the world. It does allow you to choose an error amount so you can kind of fine tune how much precision you actually want. But my goal today is to show you the concept. There's quite a bit of information online on several of the forums that you can take a look at to learn more. There's a couple other YouTube videos, but my goal here in this video is to show you what speed drop factor is, how to arrive at your own number if you don't have a new Kestrel that's got the capability within that. And then I want to show you on the range at distance what it actually looks like shooting targets using speed drop factor. So that said, what are we going to use for a rifle? Well, for a rifle, we're going to use our trusty Barrett mrad. It's been in a lot of my videos. I'll be using the 6.5 Creedmoor barrel in it, shooting the Hornady 130 ELDM at about 29-20 feet per second. So very flat shooting. In my opinion, it's great for speed drop, and you'll see that out here today. Suppressed with a Surefire SOCOM 762 mini suppressor. It's quite old. And then the key to this is I'm running a nightforce 7-35 ATACR F1 with a mil tremor 3 reticle in it. So speed drop factor does require a mil reticle to work. For ranging, we're going to use the Wilcox Raptar on top here. And when I'm normally zeroed, I have the Raptar zeroed 5 mils below my crosshair. Now you'll see when we start shooting today and I start ranging how we have to use that to work together. So that's the rifle package. What is speed drop factor? Well, speed drop factor, as I mentioned, is one number. So if you think about when you normally shoot to distance, you have multiple dope numbers that you have to remember all the way out from 100 to 1,000, however far you're shooting. Speed drop factor is going to allow you to actually dial negative in the scope, X amount, and then for each range, hold over that number. So for instance, if I'm going to shoot 475 yards, I might hold 4.7 mils over the target. If I'm going to shoot 720 yards, I might hold over 7.2. So it's a very fast and very easy way to shoot to distance. Now within speed drop factor, we have to tell it how much error from our zero are we going to accept. So for me, I'm shooting fairly generous size IPSC type targets, so I might accept an error of 0.3. Now for targets, what do we have out here? Today I've got out in the field, I've got about a 220, 225 yards, 6-inch square. I've got a 1/3 IPSC at about 375. I've got a half size IPSC or it's a 2/3 size IPSC at about 500, a 2/3 IPSC at 725 or so. And I've got a full size IPSC at about 1100, but again, we'll range it and we'll get actual numbers as we shoot out to distance. So that's an overview of what we're shooting and what speed drop factor is. From here, let's move into the math and how to arrive at your own speed drop factor number. It's pretty simple. So now that we have an idea what speed drop factor is and what the concept is, how do we get to your own speed drop factor number? It's pretty simple. It's great to use a program like Excel, but for this, we're going to use a trusty whiteboard. Now, there's 3 things that we already know. We know our range. So I've listed 200 to 1,200 yards in 50-yard increments. Now, the finer you can get in that, the more granular you'll be able to get with your speed drop factor number. But this will show you the concept. So yardage, and in the second column, I take my yardage and divide it by 100 to get to a decibel number. So for instance, 200 becomes 2.0, 600 becomes 6.0, 950 becomes 9.5. And that is the number that we'll actually use when we're working in our reticle and we range a target and we're going to shoot it. So convert them over to decimals. And then the next thing we'll do in the third column is add our dope. So we already know our dope. So I just go down and I listed it all the way from 200 to 1200 for that 130 ELDM running 25-20 out of that mrad. Now, those are the things we know. From here, there's a little bit of math we have to do to move into our actual speed drop number. So what does that look like? In the 200-yard line, you take 2 minus our dope is 1.8. Next line down, 2.5 minus 0.5 gives us 2.0. 2.0. 3 minus 0.8 gives us 2.2. So you can see all the way down, I'm going to subtract my dope from the yardage decimal. Now I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll get back to you and we'll show you how to actually get your speed drop number. So just a second. Okay, so a little bit of quick math completed. I ran down and subtracted my dope from the yardage decimal and put that in this fourth column. Now what you can see in this fourth column is a gap between your dope and between the hold for speed drop factor. So what we'll do now is we'll take a look, and you can see in these numbers they grow. They peak out here at 3 for a while, and then they start falling off. Well, if you think about a bullet, it flies in an arc like this. And we're trying to shoot a straight line through that and get as many targets as we can along the way. So that's why our numbers are peaking like that. So to actually get to the speed drop factor number for your rifle, it's pretty simple. First, let's ask ourselves, are we going to accept 0.2 error, 0.3 error? What is the error number that we're okay with? So because I'm shooting full-size IPSCs, I'm okay with a 0.3 error number. Now with that in mind, I come down, I find the peak, which is 3.0. At 3.0, I subtract off 0.3, and I get to 2.7. So that is a speed drop number that I can use with an error of 0.3. Now what does that do for me? So from 3, I come up 2.7. So that's a 3/10 error where the bullet is above my line of sight. And then I come down another 0.3 to about 350. Same thing, I go 3 to 2.7, and another 0.3 gets me down to 1050. So with a 2.7 speed drop factor number, I can hold center of an IPSC style target and likely make hits from 350 all the way out to 1,050 yards. Now say I have a speed drop number error that I'll accept of 0.2. So I come to 3, I take off 0.2, gets me to 2.8. I come back another 2/10. So that's right there at that 425 yard mark. And 8.6, and that's 1,000 yards. So with an error of 0.2, I have a speed drop number of 2.8. And I can hit from about 425 to about 1,000 yards with 0.2 error, so a little bit tighter on my above and below line of sight when I'm shooting. So when we're going to shoot out here today, I think for this exercise I'll use this 0.3 error number. So I'm going to dial below my 0, 2.7. So 2.7 negative, because I'm going to go down for speed drop factor. So with that, let's move over here and let's shoot some targets. So first things first, let's put a handful of rounds down there, just traditional, 100-yard 0 using a dope card. So for the first target we'll shoot, let's go to the 2/3 IPSC out there at about 725, and then I'll transition over to the full-size IPSC at about 1100. So we'll look through the scope, go to 5 mils under, I'll range that, 731. So if I look at my dope card there, third column from the left, that's going to be about 4.3, 4.25. And I'm going to favor right to the 4-mile-an-hour wind dot. Ooh, right where I was aiming. All right, let's go dead on. Impact. Impact. More. Impact. All right, let's move over to 1100. So again, let's go 5 under. $11.16. So now if I look at my dope, third column down there, I'm going to call that 9 mils. So 9 mils. I'm going to go dead center. Just off the right edge. I'm going to favor right half. Impact. Impact. Ooh, off the left edge. And that's all I got. So you can see elevation-wise, we're looking pretty good. Just a matter of what we're doing with the wind. So from there, let's go to speed drop. So now that you've seen the rifle is very capable of making hits using a traditional 100-yard zero and then holding my dope, let's go to speed drop. So with that, I'm going to dial down 2.7 if we're going to accept an error of 0.3. Now you'll notice my turret is not currently zeroed. That's because when I install the 6.5 barrel, I don't zero the turrets out. So currently we're at 11. Now if I'm going to accept an error of 0.3, I'm going to go down 2.7. There's 1, 2, 2.7. Now with that, let's move back to steel and let's shoot some targets using speed drop. We've now dialed on our speed drop, so we're negative 2.7 mils below our 100-yard zero. Now what that means for the Raptar, where I was ranging at 5 mils below, now I'm going to be ranging at 7.7 below because I pushed that down. But the concept is we're going to range a target, hold that number in the reticle, and shoot. So the first target, it's either a 1/3 or a half size IPSC out there. So let's go down, range that, 375. What I'm going to do, because I'm on the edge of my speed drop number, is I'm actually going to hold 3.8 up toward the shoulder, dead on. Impact. One more. Impact. You can see those are both hits. Now let's go over here. 2/3 IPSC. That is at 495. We're going to hold 5 to center. Impact. Impact. Okay. Another 2/3 IPSC out there. This is the one we shot with our actual dope. Remember, this was about 4.3. That's 730 yards. That means we're going to hold 7.3. I'm going to go dead on. Just high and right. Let's favor left. Impact. Impact. So now all the way up to 1100. So we're pushing the boundaries of this, of our speed drop number. But let's range it. 1115. So that means I'm going to hold 11.2. But because we're beyond our range, I'm going to hold that in the head. Wind, I'm going to favor left edge. So 11.2 to the head, left edge. Impact. Do it again. just off the left edge. Let's cut our wind back just a smidge. Impact. You can see with speed drop, we're very capable just holding that decimal yardage number and pulling the trigger so long as our windage is right. It's pretty cool. What if you find yourself with a target inside of your speed drop window? So for me on the short side, I'm at 350 for 0.3 error. So inside of that, the bullet's actually going to be below my point of aim. So let's range this target. It's a 6-inch square. It ranges at 220. So with speed drop, I should be holding 2.2 to center. But because I know I'm inside of my window, I'm actually going to favor just over the target with that. So you can see I'm holding about 2.8 to center. Impact. One more. Impact. Now let's move back. Let's do something, that 500-yard target down there. And you can see we'll be right back to where we were. So let's range that. 495. So we'll hold 5. Impact. Impact. Let's put a couple on out there at the next 2/3 IPSC. $730. We'll hold. Now here, the bullet's going to be above our line of sight. So let's go 7.2 to center, and I'm going to favor left edge of the plate. Impact. Impact. And that's all of our rounds. You can see inside of the window, hold over, beyond the window, hold over, and in the center, the concept works. Speed drop factor. What a really cool concept. I'd love to hear in the comments, what do you think about this concept? Where does it make sense for you? Have you used it before? So for me, I think this is perfect for a DMR type rifle, a DMR type roll, a DMR type match, where you're trying to rapidly engage a fairly generous sized target like these IPSCs. So the concept of this, if you look at the information put out by Accuracy First, it's for speed, not so much precision. Now you could make precise shots with it, but that's not really the intended purpose. With this package, I was able to range it with my speed drop number, hold it, and shoot it. You saw very fast. I didn't have to look at a dope card. It's awesome for that. Now, just a quick recap. What did we see in the video? So initially, you saw me shoot the 730 and the 1115-yard target using a traditional 100-yard zero. You're able to see the numbers in real life match the range card, so that's always a good thing. Then from there, I dialed in my negative 2.7 speed drop number, which gives me an error of 0.3, so plus or minus 0.3, from 350 all the way to 1,050 yards. And then I shot steel. You saw me hit that target at 380, 500, 730 with no problem. Hold center mass, speed drop number, boom, made my hits. Then once I got to the edges of that, beyond my effective window, I had to favor high. So you could see the concept there at 1100. I was 11.2, but I held that up in the heads, the top edge of the target. That allowed me to put hits down in the body. So my error number had grown, but I still made my hits. At 220, exact same thing. Even though I'm inside of it, I took that 2.2 mil hold and I put that at the top edge, just over the target a little bit, made my hits. So was it perfect for precision shots? No, but did I make hits on these targets? Yes, it worked really well. Could you use this in a hunting roll? Maybe, if you narrowed up your error window. Could you use this in a PRS match? Maybe, although I don't think I would. I think a PRS type match, I'd rather have a dope sheet and actually hold it because I feel like that's a little bit more precise, unless it's a stage with generous targets where speed is a factor. So great concept, really something to have in the toolbox. I'd encourage you, if you haven't played with it, go give it a try. Once I started using this, I realized it actually makes a ton of sense with the kind of shooting I'm doing where I'm plinking generous targets. Really, really cool concept. Now, if you stuck around this far, I really appreciate it. Now, that said, your engagement is what's going to help me grow this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd ask, would you give me a subscribe, like, comment, let me know down there, what are your thoughts? Does this make sense for you? Where are you using it? It's your engagement that's going to help me grow this channel and keep putting out quality content like I enjoy doing. Also, don't forget, check me out on Instagram at Mountains Mullets America. Great place for us to engage in conversation through the DMs. A lot of you have reached out with video ideas or shooting questions. We've had a lot of really good conversations there. Also, sneak peeks of what I'm working on. So that said, appreciate you sticking around. Can't wait for you to join me in the next video because I got some cool stuff in the works. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.